Hey, what's up, Classic TV fans? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about Hogan's Heroes. More specifically, we'll be diving in and talking about the tunnels that were underneath the barracks and the entire Stalag 13 camp, and tell you about how they made those. And this was something that I pretty much found no information on, so I think we'd start pretty much going with a theory on how these were made. But before I get into that, I do want to let you know that I am giving away a whole season 2 DVD set. So every single episode from season 2 I'll be giving away. The way to participate, make sure to watch the entire video and I'll give you all the details. Now, if you've been watching Hogan's Heroes for as long as I have been, you will note that there are many times where they are doing some sneaky stuff against the Germans. And where do they plan most of that? Well, they plan it probably in Hogan's office, but most likely underground. Underground in tunnels that the supposed heroes dug themselves. Now, if we go in terms of stepping back from the show and going into how it was created behind the scenes, think about that. I've even had people ask me, so I just want to put it out there that this is not me making it up. People ask, Rick, where are these tunnels that they actually built coming out of rock? Would this have been difficult? And I'm here to answer that it's 99.9% sure that they did not actually carve this out of rock. When it comes to Hollywood, they use the easy, simplest, and most cost-effective way to do things. That's just how it works. That's how you make money, and it is Hollywood. It's magic that they make. And so the way they would do this, I think, is very interesting. I have all these snapshots of just different scenes for many different episodes that take place underground. Now, the fact that we do have the luxury of seeing this in high definition, it's one of those things where you can see a lot of the secrets come out, and this is one of those examples. Now, the other day, not too long ago, I was watching a Hogan's Heroes episode, and I was really paying attention to the background because I've seen the episode so many times, and I noticed and realized what they used for the background. This is something that I just concluded myself. You're more than free to put your thoughts in the comments down below. But from what I've seen, just going to Universal Studios so many times, knowing, studying these shows for over 6 years, watching them for over 30 years, you start to see patterns in how these movie studios and TV studios work. Again, this is the most cost-effective way that they would make something like this. How would you make those rock formations? Well, the simplest way is paper. Now you may think, wait, paper out of a notebook? Well, no. The conclusion that I reached is butcher paper. Now, if you looked, this is a roll of butcher paper. This is what we're used to using. It's very similar to the material used for paper bags in grocery stores, but butcher paper is a little different. The thicknesses are different. There's white and there are many different colors, but the one that is colored the very common paper bag brown is the most likely suspect of what they used. And I'm going to show you a couple examples of what this looks like. Now, I've been showing you throughout this video images from the episodes themselves. I want to compare that to these images that I took a little bit earlier, showing you the concept and showing you how this could possibly be done. So I want to show you all how this can work in theory. This is just a Whole Foods bag, and to show you how well this works, what's really important here is to see the consistency of the paper or the butcher paper that's used. I'm going to kind of cut this down the middle and then crumple it and then show you how it gives the effect of that rock and just jagged look. Now you can do this at home and see for yourself. I just opened it up here, and now I'm going to kind of crimple it here for you. And as I crimple it, you're going to start to see. Now this is very rudimentary. This is very just on the fly. But you can start to see how the rocks and the edges, you can start to see that appears, and depending on how big or how good you want it, it'll look the more realistic there is. And this is just with something flat. Now let me add a little bit of depth. Now at this angle, I've just put a smaller box under it, and you can see, now obviously as I zoom out, it looks a lot better. This is HD quality. This is 1080p in which you're watching this. This thickness of the paper, in my opinion, is a little too much, but I just made it a little bulbous so that you can see, essentially, from different angles, it looks like rock formation. I've switched over to this. This is actually thinner paper, but it's still very robust and thick, and you can see that to me it looks a lot better. Remember, these lines don't make it look that realistic, but when this is a background of an actor or someone who is just talking, making some lines, it looks very, very much so like rock formations, and it's uneven, and maybe we crumpled it up too here, but depending on how the light hits it, you can see how good the effect looks. And this is essentially what I believe they use to make the tunnels for Hogan's Heroes. And we can compare it to the actual scenes and the actual background, which is sometimes even out of focus. But in HD, you will see that this is essentially what they use. It's very cheap, it's very inexpensive, and especially if the camera is moving and so forth. I mean, most people would think that these are rock formations. Now here's the basic principle that I showed you, but this is more interesting. I was able to find a church that actually did this. I just Googled some butcher paper caves, and this is what they came up with. Definitely a lot better than what I showed you, but this shows you the principle of how well this looks. I had to look very closely because I thought, wait, is this an actual like cave? Then I saw the drinking fountains there, and I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, this is definitely made out of this material, which is really, really cool. And now we can juxtapose this, look at some of the formations behind the heroes and so forth, and you will see the similarities here. You will see how essentially it looks very much the same. Depending on how you light it is how it looks. Also, they have a lot of painting techniques that they could use. You can go on these Universal or Warner Brothers studio tour, and you can see styrofoam, really lightweight material, even paper like this, be painted in a way to make it look rusty, to make it look old, heavy, whatever they need to do. And they had a whole television studio backing this up, so it was very inexpensive to put up. It would probably only take them several hours, a day or two to make this, and then that's it. That's their set, their tunnel set that they would use for the show. I would love to know your thoughts down below. I know a lot of you want to know how you can win the season 2 DVD set. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, hit the thumbs up like button, and put a comment down below with the word tunnel in it. As long as you have the word tunnel in there somewhere, you will be qualified for the DVD set. Lastly, there's a link in the description for you to put your contact information. You must do that so that I know where to send the DVD to when I pick the winner. There's also more links down below to other playlists where you can see other TV shows. I really, really, really do thank you for all the support you've been showing me all these years, and if you've just found me, I hope you enjoy the over 1,400 videos I have on this channel. We'll see you next time, and don't forget, be hopeful. A big thank you especially to my Diamond tier patrons, Kevin K, David D, Vito L, Sally N, Citizen Kane 359, Ricky, and honorary Patreon Verbal Volley. If you want to become a patron member, links are down below in the description. Thank you.